Hello and welcome to West Cary Middle School's open house for the 2021 academic school year. Thank you for spending your time with us this evening to learn a little bit more about your child's class and the expectations of the virtual classroom. If you would like to follow along, you can scan the QR code here and you will be able to see the same presentation that I'm presenting to you today. I am Miss Dancy and I teach three different levels of math. I have a sixth grade, 6+ class, and I also teach two levels of the math 7 and 7+ classes. I am a Raleigh native, born and bred. I am also a graduate of North Carolina State University, Go Pack, and I have two boys. I have been at West Cary since 2004, but I started my teaching career in a small town in Franklin County in 2001. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So here's an overview of the topics the students will cover for the Math 6+ class. So we are currently still in Unit 1, Area and Surface Area, and we will move, of course, to Unit 2 and throughout for the quarter. So again, please do keep in mind that some things may overlap to a quarter depending upon time frame and where things end up, but this is a schedule of when we will cover what. Some resources for 6+ through the open up. Here are some of the topics that you guys that you all can look at and go through together as a family if you wish to do more past the classroom. So here's just a few of the topics that are covered in the open up resources. So the daily class expectation. It is expected that students attend class daily just as they would if they were in the physical classroom. The difference is in how the structure of the class is virtually. So there are two parts to the learning: asynchronously away and then synchronously with me. So asynchronously, students should spend time watching a video for the lesson for that day, and things are put into Google Classroom weekly. And that video lesson will have questions that they are to respond to gauge their learning of the lesson at hand. And then there are assigned activities that go along with the video that students are to do asynchronously away. That time frame begins at the beginning of each class period. So for example, first period students will begin learning asynchronously at 7:30. And from 7:30 to 8, they have that time to do the lesson and the activities. And then synchronously, which means with me, at 8 o'clock, we will come together live and we will go over the activity they were assigned, answer any questions, and maybe do more if there's a need to do more for understanding. So on test days or an assessment day, because we do have quizzes, students are expected to report to class at the beginning of class on those test days. So if we are having a test, I expect to see students at the start of class. This will allow for time of giving instructions and then allow time for students to take the test and not feel rushed. So the graded work that students will have, the video lessons are done for feedback purposes and the activities are done for feedback to make sure students understand. They have quizzes they will take, again, done through Google Classroom. The grades will be transferred to PowerSchool for your viewing. Unit tests also are done through Google Classroom and the grades are transferred to PowerSchool for your viewing. Students are provided a study guide for that particular assessment, or for that unit rather. So they are expected to complete the study guide with work in order to prepare for the test. And they also have weekly spirals. These are done on a weekly basis. They're assigned on Monday and due by that Friday. So grade remediation for students, they are able to retake a test if they did not perform well on the test. So it will be done within a week of the test being returned. They must complete any virtual remediation, which means they must meet with me for virtual remediation. And any problems they missed on the original test should be reworked and corrected. We do go over the test in class, so they have an opportunity to see how to do it before trying to attempt that on their own if they already are struggling. And then, of course, the study guide that is given should be completed. That is the first step. to doing well on the original test is to do the study guide. But if something happens where they don't perform well, they are given the opportunity to retake the test. It's not the same test. It is a version of the same content. Okay, so it's the same content, but not the same exact test. So here's the breakdown of the grades that students will receive. Tests and projects are 65%, while minor grades, which are quizzes, are 35%. So here again is a breakdown of what is required in order to do test corrections for retaking a test. So again, making sure they have all their mistakes corrected on the original test. Sign up with me for some remediation time with during flex time. Of course, restudy and study more, and then they will have a specified date as to when they should be able to, when they should expect to take the retake. And again, it's done live with me. So ways to check in and support. You have talking points that I use as a way to communicate with parents and students if they are also on talking points. Please, you can use that as a response to it. It's almost like a text messaging app. You can respond to it and I can respond back to you directly. Power School, of course, is where your grades are updated on a weekly basis. Google Classroom, this is where the assignments are posted, and I will show you that in just a moment. And then, of course, their workbook. Students are to be working in their workbook. They can write in their book, so they should have things written down in their book. So before we get to any questions, if you have questions, of course, please jot them down, and we will address those questions during our live session for open house. But I do want to show you the Wake ID portal that students have when they log into their Wake ID portal. They do not have as many icons as I have, but they do have some of the exact same icons I have. And the ones in particular I want to point out, this is their icon for their email. Students should check their email on a regular basis. This is their Google Classroom icon here to access their classes. And here is Dreambox, which we use. Also, here is Home Base. And lastly, here is their Google Classroom that they have for class. All classwork is posted here under the topic that is being covered. All right, I will see you all during Open House Live. Thank you for coming. Have a great day.